This show never ceases to amaze me. It seems that for every bad episode that Megaforce has, there is an episode that is so good that it reminds me of why I am a Power Rangers fan to begin with. Prince Takes Night is an episode that not only accomplishes this, but also rivals going viral as being my favorite episode of the season, which, considering last week's episode was my least favorite, is really saying something. The episode opens with the team at Ernie's discussing Robo Knight and whether or not they are up to the task of making him an ally. Troy mentions that he has been having these weird dreams and that Robo Knight is in them. The others ask if he is their friend in the dream, but Troy says it is fuzzy, which is why he didn't mention them until now. Emma asks Troy what else happens in the dream, and he responds by saying that there is a huge battle. Noah comments how some people believe that dreams can be visions of the future, but the others don't think much of it. In space, General Malcor says that Robo Knight is a threat to the aliens and must be stopped. Brock says that won't be necessary, since they could just reprogram him to serve the insects. Malcor agrees and instructs Brock to carry out his plan. After a quick costume change, Brock lands on Earth and finds a creature called Psychotic, and the two make a plan to capture Robo Knight and drain him of his energy so he can be easily reprogrammed. Psychotic goes to attack a local fairground before the Rangers are called into action. We get a nice group morph shot, and the Rangers try to blast Psychotic, but he absorbs the blast and sends it right back at them. At that moment, Robo Knight arrives and tells the Rangers to stand aside. Robo Knight engages Psychotic in hand-to-hand combat, but every time he dodges one of Psychotic's blasts, he leaves defenseless people open to attack. The Rangers try to protect the civilians, asking Robo Knight what his problem is, and he tells them that Psychotic is his primary target. As Robo Knight sets up his Vulcan cannon to finish the fight, Psychotic suddenly hits him with an attack and captures him before teleporting away. Noah figures out this must have been a trap set for Robo Knight, and the Rangers head to the command center. Robo Knight awakens in a cage while Brock and Psychotic watch over him. Brock tells him that the cage he is in will slowly drain his energy until he is weak enough to reprogram. Brock then instructs Psychotic to keep the Rangers busy while his plan is in motion. At the command center, Chancellor says that Robo Knight is still on Earth, and Jake wonders why they should help him, seeing how Robo Knight was willing to put innocent people at risk. Troy says that while that may be true, Robo Knight is still a guardian of the Earth, and as such it is their duty to rescue him. Robo Knight continues to try to escape the cage, but the more he tries, the more energy the cage absorbs. Brock taunts Robo Knight and gloats about his victory before Troy arrives and morphs, engaging Brock in a fight. Meanwhile, Psychotic is attacking the city, but is slowed down by the other Rangers. He calls on a squad of Loogies to attack them, leaving the Rangers to fight unmorphed. Working together, the team is able to defeat the Loogies fairly easily and go find Troy. Troy is busy getting beaten down by Brock when Psychotic suddenly appears, saying that the Rangers are no more. This turns out to be bad timing, since the other Rangers show up as Brock is about to finish Troy. Brock berates Psychotic for his failure before the two attack the Rangers. G and Jake try to free Robo Knight, who asks them why the team would risk their lives to save him. The two say that they are on the same side, as is every human, and that they need to work together to beat the bad guys. Before they can talk more, Brock blasts the two Rangers down while Psychotic holds the other Rangers in triumph. Realizing that the Rangers need his help, Robo Knight reroutes the energy of the cage back into him and destroys it. Once he is recharged, Robo Knight uses his speed to knock both aliens back and uses the Vulcan cannon to defeat Psychotic. Brock calls Zombats as he departs from the fight, and Psychotic becomes giant. Robo Knight is then granted power cards to call in the Night Brother Mechazords before morphing to face Psychotic. As the Lion Mechazord, Robo Knight combines with the Night Brothers to form the Gosei Grand Megazord, which makes quick work of Psychotic. After the fight, the Rangers see Robo Knight acknowledge humans as part of the Earth and once again ask if he will fight by their side. Robo Knight says that while he does see the team as allies, it is more logical for him to work alone, before he decides to leave. And the episode ends with Jake confused about the exchange before Noah says that Robo Knight is showing them he is learning. When I first saw Robo Knight last week in his introduction, he looked to me like a cross between the Blue Centurion from Turbo and the Magna Defender from Lost Galaxy. After watching this episode, it is evident that he does have some of their characteristics. For those who don't know, the Blue Centurion was a robot from the future who was sent back in time to warn the Turbo Rangers of an impending invasion. However, in his introductory episode, he is captured by the villain and reprogrammed to fight against the Rangers. And the Magna Defender was an ancient warrior whose tragic past forced him to only focus on revenge and not care who was caught in the crossfire. Robo Knight is definitely a blend of these two characters, in that he is a robot who is almost reprogrammed and only focuses on his targets. Also, watching him fight hand-to-hand was pretty cool. However, Robo Knight is not the only good thing about this episode. I like how Troy finally talks to the others about his visions, and even though the conversation is short, at least it refers to the whole dream rather than just Robo Knight. Prince Takes Night also has a very clear focus on the parallel of the Rangers who work as a team and Robo Knight who prefers to work alone. To put it simply, this episode had everything I could ever want from a Power Rangers episode, and is the first since Mega Mission to feel like a Saban Power Rangers episode. This is also the first non-filler episode in the season, and after many weeks of filler, this is a nice change of pace that I want to see continue.